Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Monday morning. Getting ready to start off a great week here in December the 4th. Can you believe that? Time waits on no one. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and 77. Today's going to be a nice day. High of 76, low of 61, and water temperature is 68 degrees. Every Monday we like to do the moon phase, and we skip our river readings. Pretty well know what the river's doing, but on Monday we just like to look at the moon because it's so important in all kind of outdoor activities. It's brought to us by Sandhill Seafood and Restaurant, right up there on Highway 77. Tonight is a full moon. It started last night, but tonight is official full moon, and we're going all the way through. We're going to start waning, and our new moon is going to be the 17th and 18th of December. So really, next couple of days is going to be some good fishing right after full moon, and the deer is going to be starting moving around a lot in the next week or two. We're wrapping up. We're in a week of, this is muzzleloading week, and a lot of things going on. A lot of folks in the woods. It's sort of real nice and peaceful, though, but it's big thing is really dry. Everybody I've talked to, including myself going to the woods, talks about how we all talk about how dry it is. Let's take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Great tides. I'm not talking about good tides. I'm talking about great tides this week. We're looking at a low this morning at 6:58 and a high tonight at 9:04. So we've got a strong incoming tide all week long, and it's really going to be a good time to go fishing, especially like to fish at an incoming tide, and it's going to be really nice. I'm serious. The rain forecast will be coming out of the southeast at about 4 to 5. All right, let's take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get started this week. All kind of good stuff going on, but I always want to show some pictures. I don't have many, but got a couple happen over the weekend. Look at, check this out. Mike McCraw. Mike has got after Pompano pretty strong this fall, and look at here. He got one. Happy wife, happy life. Amy McGraw is going to be happy. Sunset Pompano. Now, I've got some more pictures. He caught some more fish right after this, so. But I want to show this because I very seldom show pictures from out of this area, but on occasion I run across some just, downright fascinating. And I got to looking at this one, I get all kind of stuff. I got to look at this one, and this is interesting. This happened way up in North Dakota back in October, and what happened, the two deer, this guy shot a buck, but that's a head of another buck. They were tangled up. Obviously they've been fighting, or maybe this one got hit. They don't know really what happened. It's actually two deer heads, and here's a guy that took them right here. But you can see the other head tied into it, and chances are they're fighting. And there's speculation also from the Game Commission maybe that first buck had been hit by a car or something, and then the other buck came up to it and got tangled up in it. But anyway, this hunter shot the deer with two heads on it. So. It's amazing what happens, some of the freak of nature sometimes when that stuff happens like that. Okay, let's move on. Here's the other picture of Mike sent. He also said he caught 3 whiting, and look at that nice redfish fishing in the surf. And it's just good pattern. He's paying attention to pattern and a little bit of luck. That's what it takes. Okay, Michael Harris sent this, his good friend. Look at this buck first. Check this out. That's just that's a huge, look at the tines on that buck. That's a Georgia buck. And isn't that a nice one? Okay, it's Kurt Smith. That's really a buck of a lifetime. Good job, Kurt Smith. I know you're proud of that. Okay, we got a moon phase. So anyway, just a couple of pictures to get started off with the week and all. Now, as we get into the hunting season, we always talk about being careful, being safe, and every year we have some kind of accidents and all. And one of the big ones I always have is somebody falling out of a tree stand, and we've talked about the safety harnesses and all, and tree stand versus ground blind and all. And last year I gave away some safety harnesses. I'm gonna give some more away this year, and I'm gonna. It's a strap. If you're not familiar with it, basically you can't tell from here. It's a strap that goes on you, and then it ties in. And really and truly, if you're climbing up into a tree stand and checking it out, looking around and all, you need to have one of these, and they're not. It's a safety harness system. I've talked about it on the show for years, and I have some I'm going to give away on each day. So we'll talk about how we're going to give them away toward the end of the show. But what we're going to do now, let's take a break, and we're going to come right back and introduce our video. Okay, welcome back. Let's get set up for this video. This is a little video just fishing off my dock. Sometimes the weather, messes you up, and sometimes other things happen. And if you don't have a dock, a lot of times you go down to the bridge or go down and fish off the creek bank or whatever. A lot of times you have to go to plan B. In this situation, I planned to go out, and the weather was, when I was getting ready to go, I couldn't go. So I said, I'm going to fish off the dock. So sometimes you just want to go. So you'll see what I'm talking about. So Jeff, let's run this video. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. Listen, you get those days where you just really, really want to go fishing, plan a couple of days ahead, and things just don't work out. I got up this morning, I've been watching this weather, we got a front coming through, but I planned on going in my boat, and I was so excited about going in my boat, so I pulled up the Weather Channel this morning, and I watched it last night to about 9:30, and because sometimes those fronts come through, and they're a lot slower coming through than they anticipate. It just happens that way. So last night I was just hoping, it's going to be a little ways before it gets here, so I can fish a couple of hours. But I got it this morning, looked at it. I said, well, I better not get out in the boat, but I still want to go fishing real bad. So I looked on the radar, and I still think I'm going to fish off my dock, and I still think I can get that in there. But you can see, I'm gonna hold it up so you can see the front is coming through, and I like to fish. Well, of course we're right here, and that front is coming. Okay, but you can see where the front is moving toward us. I like to fish right, before the front. So I'm gonna get on out. They're still dark, but I'm gonna get on out there and just fish off my dock. Okay, I'm out here in the end of my dock. It's still dark. And those lights way across there. That's the Deer Point Dam, and it's like I say, it's still dark. And you go back over here and see a little bit of light. That's the Lynn Haven. A little bit of light coming from there. So that's not a sunrise like I wish it was, but we're going to go ahead and get started because that rain is not going to slow up. It's still headed this way. I had it hit. It was a little one. There you go. When I say it's a little one now, there are a bunch of them out here. I'm gonna make it bigger. How's that? Is that bigger? That's about a 24 inch, but I'm gonna throw it back. Just kidding. It's a little one. There are a bunch of these out here. Now that's probably good to eat. They're probably really good to eat, seriously. As you can see, I'm doing a show by myself. Gail don't want to get up this early. But she's a trooper now. She usually gets up with me. She just, not this morning. So I'm using a little mirrodine to start off with. I had my Paul Brown, I got it tangled up. I got aggravated. It's still tangled up. There's mullet jumping all through here. Bait fish are active. Look at there. Oh man. He was chasing it. I normally don't throw but about 3 times in one area. That's always been a motto of mine. I guess it goes back to youth baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. So I throw about 3 times in one area, then I may move over only 6 to 8 foot, but I will move around. I do like a fan. I start from my left and fan over to my right. And I normally won't stay with the lure if I'm not catching anything, maybe 15 minutes. There's a mullet right there. These mullet not quite big enough. Give me about 3 or 4 more weeks and we'll be catching mullet right here. Let me know if y'all want some fresh mullet. I got them at Tarpon Dock. I got them at Sandhill Seafood. But if I have any extra, I'll give y'all some. He's trailing it right there. All right, I'm gonna cast a few more times this mirrodine, then I'm gonna untangle my Paul Brown. Very hot, very humid. We're right ahead of this front. There's mullet all over the place. Ooh, that's a big one. I may have to go get my net. That was a big one. Can you see where I tangled up? I got this tangled up right here. How do you fish your whole lifetime and still tangle stuff up? Alright, let me get it untangled. Alright, mirrodine. Alright. There are a bunch of little speckled trout right out here. A bunch of them. You know, speckled trout's a beautiful fish. This is a little mirrodine. I was fishing top water. I was fishing plastic. I was fishing soft plastic. I'm gonna have to get my hook remover. Doggone it. I hate I can't do it by hand. Maybe I can. Hold on. Hold on, buddy. There you go. That's 8 inches. We used to keep those way back. They were really good eating. They're better eating than the big ones, but they're not quite legal right now. right, welcome back. I think you understand how I felt. Sometimes you just want to get out, even if it's just walk in the woods or get wet that line or something, and just go do it. Just don't sit around and say, I wish I'd have done this. Just go ahead and go do it. You fight that battle all the time. You got a chance, go out and do it, and it's as simple as that. Okay, let's move on now. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today. The outlook brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers at 12:11 a.m. to 2:11 a.m. That was this morning, but right around the middle of the day today, 12:43 to 2:43. That's going to be a good time to go. We're always talking about the different feedback I get, and let me go and say this. If you send me an email or text or whatever, and I don't reply real quick, I will reply sooner or later. Hopefully, most of the time it's sooner, and sometimes, though, I lose them. It may be my fault or whatever, but if I don't ever reply, please resend it and say, hey, Coach, I sent this to you the other day. You might have missed it. So I like to answer 100% of my correspondence. I enjoy it, and I think it just helps everyone. It helps me, it helps you, and I always want to stay on top of it. On phone calls, and anyways, a lot of it, and it's just a constant thing, and I don't consider it a job. I consider it an honor to, I feel like I'm serving the public and doing these kind of things. So from an outdoor viewpoint. But I got a neat email the other day. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It came from Robert Barnes, and it was so good. Remember, we were talking about flounder. I saw a little video when we went flounder gigging and all, and here's a video here. And but he brought up some really good points, and we were talking about. And here's a big deal. Taking fish and game, especially we're talking about fish, during the spawning season. He was questioning about the flounder and all. And here, I feel very strong about, not taking fish when they're spawning. And first of all, let's use the sheephead. In the month of February, we all know that the sheephead are coming around these jetties, these rocks and all, and they're spawning. And they really should be protected because that's the future of the fishery right there. And if we catching all these females and all, and right around those rocks, they're easy to catch. They're all over the place out there. So I just outlaw them. Don't go sheephead fishing. But let's look at the flounder. Back in the fall, late summer and all, they'll start migrating and they'll start working their way out, and they'll actually go out into the Gulf of Mexico and do the spawning. Now I don't consider you taking spawning fish when you gig them and all in the bay. And I think most outdoorsmen, sportsmen feel that way too. Now once they get out, we all talked about this the other day. December is the big spawning month for flounder. Out of the 12 months a year, December. Now I have diving friends, and they tell me they can go out there in December. And I see the pictures. And they'll just put them on that spear gun. They'll just stack them up. And I mean, you can go. They're out there. I send me pictures. They're all over the ocean floor. They're all over the place, stacked on top of each other. And and some of them get several limits. And you can get them, boom, 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 boom. It's like that in December because they're spawning. Now I'm a firm believer in, like I say, in protecting the fish during that species during the spawning. And I wish they would go ahead and the month of December, no floundering, no flounder gigging, no spear fishing, no flounder catching. Now I know that's not going to be popular with some of y'all, but we've got to protect our species. This one paragraph that Robert wrote toward the bottom right here, I'm putting it sort of in the center of the page. I'm going to read it to you. As you encourage and educate more people how to fish in this region, the human population will eventually outpace the reproductive capacity of the species if we keep taking the reproducers. Just because it's legal does not make it right. Keep up a great show, Robert Barnes. Well spoken, well said. And that's what we've said that over and over again, that we got to protect the species. I know we'll go out, go fishing offshore sometimes, red snapper. And we hate it when we get a big old female up there full of eggs and all, but sometimes you can't. By the time we get up there, those heavy fish are already just about dead. You can't, if you let them go, that dolphin's going to be right there. So none of the good sportsmen I know will take them during the season where they're spawning. Now a lot of people do, but that does not make it right. And I always go back. I know you probably get tired of me talking about my dad said this and my dad said that, but he flat out, and he didn't have a college education. He didn't even have a high school education, but he knew the woods and waters, and he knew what happened. And anything I took, if I shot a squirrel, by golly, we're going to eat it for dinner the next day. Anything I took out of the woods or took out of water, we were going to consume, or either we're going to give it to a needy family or our neighbor. We never, ever let anything go. So, and we knew, we would not even think about shooting a doe. We would not even think about it. And he came from this depression area where most people shot deer for food, but then once he witnessed them in the 30s and 40s where the deer population, it was rare, very rare to find deer. And he saw them build back, and he knew because of what happened, where people quit shooting does. So it goes back, and then all of the research, all the education, and we're getting more and more people here, and they're just, people all over the place are fishing. So I'm very leery sometimes of telling people where to go fishing, because I don't want, a lot of times rookies, and I mean that in a complimentary way, rookies will go out there and they'll catch anything. They don't know any better that maybe that stuff's spawning and all. So, up at the Deer Point Dam and the Lynn Haven Bridge, I talked about these big old drum, the black drum and all. Release those things. They're not good to eat. They're not good for anything except reproducing. So, and I'll remember the bigger fish of each species are the females. And the best group of sportsmen who really started the catch and release, you got a hats off to the bass fishermen of America. They started the original catch and release because they knew those big bass they were catching were right there over their bedding area, okay? And they knew that big bass was a female that was spawning. And they knew if they took it out, maybe next week there's not going to be one there. So they started releasing, catching and releasing. And they were the first group, and my hat's off to them, and I always appreciate bass fishermen. Sure, some folks keep some today, and some of those small ones, they're good eating and all, but, just we got to protect our species. We got to be conservationists at heart and in action. So I appreciate when I get some feedback like that from a viewer. It puts a smile on my face, because I know a lot of y'all out there are trying to conserve our fish, our habitat, and we talk about it, for future generations, but it's so true. We have to do our job as outdoorsmen and conservationists. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent like that. I'm gonna run out of time, but I could sit here and talk about it for a long time. I would tell my students this year after year, and I think most of my students left me as good conservationists. All right, that wraps it up for today. Y'all have a great day at work or at play, or whatever you do. Do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.